Fitzy, a study has found that our human bodies age dramatically at two key points in our life, at age 44 and age 60. Your thoughts?
I'll let you know when I get to 44, I guess.
When I get to
I don't.
touche. Touche. I feel like they should also have included like age 28, 30-ish, somewhere in there.
I wouldn't have passed for 28, but I might be able to get away with 44.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. We're a little bit late this morning. Apologies for that. It is Positive Tuesday today, August 27th, 2024. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Dryden Wire founder Ben Dryden, and you're watching The Big Show, presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors. With 20 years of experience as locally owned and operated business, provides quality work both on the inside and on the outside of your home or business. Give them a call today. See what they can do for you. Like Fitzy and I, they believe it's the little things that make a big difference. The number's right there on the screen, 715-520-2271. Fitzy, I thought about you the other day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, as I often do, of course.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I know. You know how we've talked before about there's different phrases that we're supposed to be using. Remember, like, instead of riots, it's called
Civil unrest.
Civil unrest, right. So I thought about you. So I was going through my Facebook feed, and when real estate, they put something up for sale, and then if it doesn't sell, then they do a price reduction or a price cut, and then they will announce that. Not anymore. I saw it. A local real estate agent put out a price improvement.
Oh, there you go.
Isn't that great? Price improvement. Psychological games from our real estate agent.
Maybe you can raise it then. Maybe you can raise it.
Ooh, and people just assume.
Yeah,
right.
Better.
Yeah, and good morning, Sharon, and good morning, Dirk. Good morning, everyone. What a busy night and early morning. Yeah, you know what? We do have, obviously, we start with sports. We have other things to talk about. But hey, real quick, the weather. Is that causing any issues for you down there from a law enforcement standpoint?
Yeah, I wasn't sure I was going to get on the show. That's why I'm late. I was in dispatch. Dirk and I spoke a couple times last night. Dirk went out and took some great pictures of lightning and the storms. Yeah, we had lots of trees down. Not lots, but enough to keep us super busy last night. Early this morning, between 7 a.m. and just now, we have one injury to report from the storm. We have lots of trees down still. Highways out, townships are out, fire departments are out.
What do you mean out?
Like they're out and about pushing trees off the road.
Really that bad? I don't think we had
lots of power lines.
I don't think we had. Honestly, there was a part of me because it started storming like really hard here in Spooner about 7 o'clock, and I was thinking, I don't know if our power is going to go out. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do a show.
No, we have lots of people. People have been out for probably 10 hours. I was told XL and Barron Electric have thousands of outages.
Oh, no.
I've been on the phone all morning with Rice Utility. I was helping in dispatch. Rice Utility's got lots of outages and trees down, power lines down. We're already at 49 calls for the day. Normally we're at 18. Last night we were well over 130, I think. We change at midnight, so it's 0 at midnight. So we're at 49 in the last, the first 9 hours of the day. Lots of calls, if your power's out, the sheriff's department, don't call 911. We had lots of that last night. My power's out. What should I do? I mean, call your utility company. There's nothing the sheriff's department don't know. One guy called and said, when are you going to turn the power back on? I'm like, well, it's in about 10 minutes, we just wanted to make sure.
We flip a switch. We just haven't gotten you yet.
Right. We just haven't got to that switch.
Right.
I get it. They don't know who to call. That's why we're here. Yeah. But in a situation like that, we're super busy. I know we hung up on some people because we had real emergencies. I can't help it that your power's out. Like if you're on oxygen, it's totally different. If you have an injury, it's totally different. But just because you're sitting in the dark and you don't want to be anymore and you're fine, don't call 911. We can't have it. We just can't have people. And a lot of people do. Call your utility company. I know they're busy. I know you got busy signals when they do that, but there's nothing we can do with that. But Barron Electric and XL Energy have been working through the night to get these figured out. Shout out to our local fire departments again. Chetek Fire did a great job. Lots of trees down in Chetek. They coordinated that effort on their own, and I appreciate Chief Olson and his team for being out there. But yeah, it was crazy from 9 to 11 and from 7 to 8:15 this morning. So
when you say you went to help out in dispatch,
I'm
partly joking, but I'm partly serious. Do you go in and put on the, I don't know if there's headphones or something, and so you have to hold it. Do you like jump in? There's like a spare for an extra, and you jump in and do that, or are you just saying, hey, what do you guys need?
Nope. I jump in, put a headset on, and answer the phone.
So
And
if
take
people
the
want to
call.
get a hold of you, they can just call 911. Fitzy, what's up?
It's right.
Don't do that, by the way.
Yeah. Don't do that. But yeah, no, I enjoy that. One, it you figure out as a leader, you figure out where your weaknesses are and what is our weakness and what can we do better? How can we do this? Years ago we had a problem where it took a long time to call a utility company and they would ask a whole bunch of questions about stuff we didn't know. I'm like, there's a tree down on a wire. That's all I know. Sorry, you go figure it out. It's your line, your tree.
Yeah.
We fixed all of that. So we have I think it's not flawless, but it works really well. Our utility companies have a very good plan in place. Now, it sucks because and if there's 300 people out with hour, the 300 person might be 10 hours later. There's not that many people, they call and get the help they can, but again, everything worked great. We did have one injury this morning I know there's an injury caused by the storm, which is a rarity. It's odd. We don't normally have that, but a tree did hit somebody this morning. So we are, our thoughts are with that family. I don't know the severity of it. It wasn't in the county. It was in a municipality. So I know there's an injury out there. So I know they're working on that. But yeah, everybody's doing a great job. And I see we're still a couple utility complaints behind here, but we're working on it. So, and IT fixed our thing. I don't have to shut anything off anymore. And
oh, really? I noticed you look crystal clear this morning.
And we're crystal clear.
I know. That's great.
So Lance worked on this, and he's like, don't shut anything off for your next Dryden wire. So he fixed it. It's a new firewall for the county, and he thought this would fix this problem and some other things in the county. So, which it did. So it's great.
I don't know. Should we wait to the end of the show to do our weather forecast? Now I feel like we're talking about weather. I wonder if, Dirk, if you could actually put that in now, just because we're talking about weather. I don't know if he has that readily available and he just copies and pastes. But, Dirk, if you actually could, if you wouldn't mind, at least for today or something, and then do the at the end of the show, maybe the forecast for the future. Again, I'm sorry, Dirk, putting you on the spot like that. If you don't have it available, perfectly fine. I understand. But for your knowledge, Fitzy, is it going today? What's it looking like? You were busy this morning, but is this going to be okay? It's actually going to get better now.
No, I think it's better right now. I mean, it's not raining out at all right now, but it's there's a lot of down trees we probably we don't know about yet. As we come across the road, people are calling those in, and you call those in. You can call 911 to report a tree across the road or partially across the road. Or what we really need to know is it blocking the whole road? Can you get around it? Can a guy in a pickup move it, or do I need a chainsaw and a bulldozer? Those are the kind of questions we'd love to know about. And I don't need to know it's a pine tree with, I just need to know, can I move it with my truck, or can I move it with my arms? If two of us get there, can we pull it off to the side?
Sure.
Or do I need the bulldozer? I mean, some of these trees have needed bulldozers. So.
All right. So this is Dirk. Thank you so much for being so flexible. We appreciate it, Dirk. There is a chance we still could see a few strong storms later. However, I wouldn't bet the farm on that one. Highs today in the upper, oopsie, dang it, it goes away after 15 seconds. Let me put that back. Highs today in the upper 70s to around 80, lows in the upper 50s to around 60. So there is a chance, but it looks like we may have seen the worst of it, is kind of what I'm reading, right, Fitzy?
Yeah, I would say that. And Dirk and I have talked. I think he agrees that you can even see the sun kind of pop out here. But it got really dark this morning at 7:30.
Yeah, it really did. Here, too. And by the way, for tomorrow and tomorrow night, we will get a break in the showers and thunderstorms under partly cloudy skies, mid-70s, low tomorrow night, drop down on 50 or 60. And you know what? I'll just put this up right now since we're on the weather. Here's the also future forecast. We'll have a cold front heading towards and through the area. This will kick off more showers and thunderstorms. This is, of course, Thursday night. We'll worry about that in tomorrow's forecast. Highs in the upper low 70s. Man, he's got another one. He's killing it. As of right now, it looks nice for the weekend. Highs in the mid-70s to around 80, cooling into the 70s for the second half of the weekend. All right. The heat that we just had.
Yeah, that was...
was there any... obviously, like when power goes out in the wintertime, that's wildly different than power going out in the summertime. For different reasons, But would you think that it's, I mean, they're both could be potentially bad, but wintertime I seem to worry a little bit more because not having
Uh-huh.
air conditioning sucks, but
Right.
not having heat when it's 10 degrees outside, that
Yeah.
changes everything.
Right.
But when
100%.
but when the heat, do you get a lot of calls during that? Because it got, holy cow, that got really freaking hot there yesterday, and then actually the day before as well a little bit. A lot of calls with heat related issues.
No, not yesterday during the day. We didn't have a lot of calls. Now, yesterday evening, we had a couple disorderly calls. I think that stems from the heat. Maybe not. I'm
Hmm,
just guessing. I didn't go on them. I don't. They weren't serious calls, but I did see that in our CAD system. So, yeah, the heat can cause people to get annoyed with each other mildly, and so that happens. But no heat related calls, which I'm surprised because it was
me
hot
too.
yesterday. I see we had a couple dog calls in your car. Obviously, don't take your dog to Walmart when it's 100 degrees, please, because people call. Don't take your dog to. I mean, that takes law enforcement to go check on it. So
Yeah.
you can't do it. We can't just say, "Well, don't go on that call." Well, that's not how law enforcement operates. My dog's fine. I left the car running. It's not how it works. We still have to go check on it. You're still taking law enforcement away. Your dog will be fine at home. So but yeah, no, way hot yesterday, but not any issues. We knew the storm was coming. Dirk and I had talked, like I said, a couple times yesterday. We knew if it was going to break when it's that hot and a storm hits, it's going to break. And it dropped from 90 degrees to 70 degrees in an hour last night with the
Hey.
storm. It was crazy how the temperature dropped. It was, yeah, it was weird how it dropped so fast. So, but again, shout out to everybody did an unbelievable job out there. We're finally getting caught up. We're 3 calls deep right now. That's it across the county. So we're doing pretty good this morning. And yeah, it was so great. And again, minus the one injury this morning. Good job by everybody out there. So,
All right.
and if your power's out, let your company know. But I know at one point last night, XL was 3 hours behind getting the calls. So that's going to happen. I think they're probably more caught up today. I know Rice Lake Utilities, I talked to them 3 times this morning. They're doing a good job trying to get everybody taken care of. So,
Well, and
but
you
it
know
is.
you always do. You give great shout outs to like the Dirks and Sharon as well. Yep, Dirk does an awesome job, and to everybody else. But also, kudos to you, Fitzy. You're a sheriff that is. I think we all understand that about you. You are active, involved, and engaged. It's not I sit at home or I sit in the office and I wait for somebody to call me and tell me what the status is. It's you are actively making these calls and talking to Dirks and talking to the electric company and talking to your officers and your deputies. You're going in to the dispatch center and taking calls with the sheriff. That's awesome, right? I
Yeah.
mean, just saying. I think all of us would agree, regardless of their personal opinion of you, which I
Yeah.
think is probably positive, right? I mean, I
I
don't know
don't know that I
how
can.
can you
No.
like you, right? I mean, come on, but I mean that's exactly what we would want from a sheriff, seriously. So,
Yeah.
no kidding. Good job, good job.
Yeah. Speaking of sheriffs, and not that but I had a great conversation with Mike Richter over the weekend
Uh,
at Rudebeg. So, no, I meant,
that's
I
a
mean, I
brutal
just,
strip. I know it was just fantastic. That was great
yeah,
on so many levels. That was great.
well, we talked about being the sheriff and doing things, and we talked about a lot of stuff. So yeah, his wife was running in the Rutabaga race, and I talked to Mike Richter we talked about Warren Tuttle.
Hey,
We actually brought Warren Tuttle's name up.
good
So
morning, Warren.
yeah, and so we talked about everything going on in Washburn, everything going on in Barron. So yeah, we talked about lots of stuff.
Yeah,
So it was great
Washburn.
catching
You guys,
Mike.
the jail come up because apparently
The
DOC isn't
deal
super
might have
happy
came
with
up.
Washburn County right now. So,
The deal did come up about what to do, and you got to do something. But what is that? That's a good question. It's $1 million question, obviously, when it comes to that, and it takes time and effort and research to do. And
yeah.
yeah, you guys got a big decision. Russ has got a big decision. So lots of decisions on jails. So yeah, you're not going to make everyone happy. Just so you know.
No, no, you really can't.
No,
And what I like about the show is they're flexible. We've skipped over our sports stuff. We can do that at the end if we
right.
have time. That's fine. But I'm glad that we were able to kind of be a little flexible here and have Dirk give us a weather forecast right away and talk about this for as long as it is. Is there anything else that you do want to talk about regarding the weather in the situation?
No,
You
I
brought
mean everybody needs to keep an eye on the weather. Obviously, it can change, and we're looking at that Thursday night. Might rain, storm, whatever. I don't think it'll be severe. And then we're into a long Labor Day weekend, so everybody's going to want to be out and about, and so biking, hiking, boating, life jackets,
Yeah.
everything, all that stuff on the long Labor Day weekend. So, and then we're back to school, and I know we'll probably get into back to school either this week or next week, but
Well,
yeah.
we can do that right now because I think I had that on my list of just random topics.
Oh yeah.
School starting. In Spooner, what is today? I think tomorrow for like 2 days. Then there's like a 4-day weekend, and then they don't actually have a full week for like 3 weeks, but it does start this week.
Right. So do some schools here.
Sure.
So, and that means buses. Give our bus drivers that want to shout out to, give them some space. They're learning their routes. They might stop and realize they're at the house, and then you'll be like, oh, they didn't do that intentionally to slow you down. They're not doing it like, ooh, I'm going to mess with this guy. I'm going to stop at this house. I'm going to stop at this house. They got times. They want to get to their drop off. They want to get their kids picked up. So, give our school buses extra space. Don't pass school buses. Give our kids extra space. School zones are 15 miles an hour. When kids are present.
I have a question about that. I have a quick question about that. 50 miles an hour. So I was taking my daughter Riley to the high school for, I don't know, something last week. And I had to pass by the elementary school in Spooner, and it's 15 miles an hour. And it says, as you just mentioned, when kids are present.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's 25. And there was a Spooner cop sitting there, and probably not a bad idea to start getting people used to, hey, school's coming soon, slow down, right? Start getting used to that again. But when it says when kids are present, what does that mean? Yeah. I mean, I'm asking this seriously. When school's in session or when kids are present, because I don't see any kids, so it should be 25. Like, no kids are on this road or next to the road at all.
That is correct. You are correct.
So is it during the school day when kids are present, today, like it says, or when school's in session?
No, when kids are present during the school day. So,
but if I don't see any kids, 25 is okay. I'm not saying correct. I would do 25. I'm just saying.
No, I think it's a very legit question. That's a very good question. It's 11 a.m. and you're driving by the school and there's not a kid there, then it's 25. If it's that school zone and kids are crossing the street, it's 15 during the school day.
17-minute, 20-second mark. Got it. On the 8:27 show. Yeah, I'm going to remember this. So if I get a ticket, I'm going to be referencing.
I'm not a lawyer and I don't give law advice, but that would be, right. No, it's when kids are present during the school year.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, everybody slows down a lot. It was just more of a random question or most people do, I should say. Right. But it was just a random thought that I had. Like, well, what does that actually mean now?
Right. No, that's a good question. No, it's a legitimate question. So.
And how much is it? What is the fine? I'm sure you don't know this off the top of your head. What is the fine for passing a school bus when it has its stop sign out?
Oh, it's speeding. Speeding in a school zone is 187.90 at just 1 to 10 over.
Oh, 100 in the school zone. Eesh.
Passing. Failure to stop for a school bus is $326.50.
And so it's just a ticket.
It is just a ticket.
See, that seems weird.
It could be. Well, it could be reckless driving if you really. So, but yeah,
failure to stop. These are kids that are around. I feel like there should be more. I feel like I don't know.
I'm probably looking at the wrong book. My statute book is 4 years old, so it's probably a little bit more than that.
So so if I'm going to get pulled over, or if anyone wants to get pulled over in Barron County, hopefully it's you because you're using an old book. That's $20, I think. I don't know. It says here from 1973.
I should get a new book, but I don't write many tickets, obviously.
Right.
And I have that for my reference, but. You need to, but you lose your point. I think that's 6 points. It might be. I don't remember. So.
Oh, good. There's points there too. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Patty says you are correct. Our sheriff is awesome, the best around, and he loves those interactions with normal folks. And senior diners love when he and his deputies serve coffee.
Must be time for us to go serve coffee up at home.
I think that's what she's saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what she's saying.
Larry says he just got power back. Oh, that's right.
Good job.
Yeah. All right. So, attaboy.
I'm glad that's happening, and. I
agree, Dirk. It should be higher. I feel like with the bus, because there's kids around the bus, right? I mean, if everybody knew you're going to get like a 60 days in jail and you lose your license for 2 years,
We don't get
Nobody.
60 days in jail for meth.
Well, bad guys are bad guys. I don't think they really care, right? I mean, if you go from mandatory minimum sentence for murder from 25 years to 50 years, it's not going to reduce murders. People are still going to do it because or drug dealers. They don't care about that stuff.
Right.
But, the average citizen, I mean, come on, there's kids around.
Right.
Anyway.
And that's all we're doing is a reminder. Kids around, be careful. That's all we're asking, and that's all we want.
Yeah, Larry said she started $500. That's something. I don't know. You know me. I just want to throw everybody in prison for everything. So.
And again, the tickets you get from the Spooner Cop versus the Washburn County are different prices because of the court. So you want to always get stopped by the Spooner Cop versus the Sheriff's Department because cheaper ticket.
What?
Court cost, municipal court versus circuit court. Yeah.
How did I not know this?
So if we're both driving next to each other and you get pulled over for doing 10 over from the Spooner Cop and I get pulled over by the Washburn County deputy, the ticket from the Washburn County deputy is higher on the same road at the same second at the same day.
What?
Yeah. It's all based
Do
on
other people know this?
I don't know.
Am I the only one that did not know that?
Yeah. So.
And it's because the ticket has to be higher because you have to go through.
Well,
Shani Anderson, I mean, she would probably know. I mean, good morning, Shani, to the clerk of court, or the county clerk. No. Yeah, clerk of court. I always get those mixed up. So because you have to go there, that's interesting. Now I kind of want to know how much the difference is. Like
it's not a lot, but I'm sure it's, I don't remember. It's been a long time since I wrote a ticket. So people have to vote. Can't write tickets. No.
I got to be at 911 to dispatch. So, all right. I do have one thing we want to get to. There's a press release article. Hold on a second. Shannon says that our county costs are set at the state. Municipalities are set by the city council.
See? We got all these people that know all these answers.
Right. So that actually means, Spooner would then, so if you're in Washburn County, and I'm just going to use like random numbers here, like $200 for a ticket from the sheriff's deputy in Washburn County. Right. Then it's, let's say, $175 from Spooner. But now if I'm in Birchwood and it's $200 still from the county, but it could be, according to Shannon, that could be like $160 or $180. Could be different than Spooner's because it's based on the municipalities.
Right. I think they're all the basic same municipality. It's based on a court cost when you break down a ticket. So
now I have to look into this because now it's going to fester and I need to know. So that is so interesting. How am I the only one that did not know this? Oops, I think I just hit that again. All right, let's get to, we have one insider article I want to talk to you about. We'll get to that in 15 seconds after a word from Spooner Health.
Spooner Health, compassion is at the center of everything we do. It's rooted in who we are and why we're here. It unites us as providers, neighbors, and as a community. Learn more at spoonerhealth.com.
All right, so we had an insider story. Thankfully, you didn't have any press releases. We did have a couple of crashes we put up yesterday. And holy cow, by the way, I know exactly where Minong and Springbrook as it relates to County Road F is now. Because we put up a release yesterday from the information from the State Patrol, and they had said it's on Highway 63 near Minong. Well, it's not technically, it is near Minong. Technically, if you live in Balsam Lake, you've probably heard of Minong. And my guess, they probably look at what's the closest city or village in the county of the crash.
Right.
That's my guess on that one. But then it's like, well, maybe then it's 53 and not 63, because 63 doesn't. So everybody's like, it's so weird. Everyone on social media, on Facebook, and in the comments are just, I can't believe this, and oh my goodness, and no, this is wrong, and this you should fix. I'm like, I think we've lost the plot here. A person died, a pedestrian, a 28-year-old died, but that was the only thing everybody wanted to talk about. And by the way, the reason I don't fix that stuff is because that's a slippery slope. If I start editing law enforcement's press releases in terms of changing, like I'll fix, like you'll put like this happened and it's a 58-year-old. I'll put in a couple of dashes between, to 58. So grammatically, sure. But I'm not actually going to change facts. Well, the facts that law enforcement said. That's a slippery slope, right? I don't want to start touching that stuff.
Right. And we're not perfect. Sometimes we make mistakes, and I put the wrong road or the wrong address or the wrong wherever. Yeah. So that happens. So
I know. And if it was like from you or from Brent or Tracy, like local law enforcement, I would just text and say, hey, can you confirm we had that right? And if not, then I'd quickly fix it. But I don't know with the State Patrol. Anyway, so our, if you recall, said to car, we had talked about this a while ago. Do you remember that story?
No, I don't. I read this when you sent it to me, but I just don't know about it. That's
All right. Well, a
Barron.
Barron man was sentenced on amended charges in sexual assault case, sexual assault of a child case, said to Car 26. This was following an investigation from law enforcement. That was the Barron Police Department received information from Barron County Department of Health and Human Services. An adult male had sexually assaulted a juvenile female under the age of 16. I'll skip a lot of those details. One, I don't want to get into it on a live show. Two, it's just a lot. It's on our website. But skipping. The original charges was a Class C felony sexual assault of a child under 16. At a recent hearing, that was amended. That charge was amended to a Class G felony third-degree sexual assault. Online records do not list details on the reason for the amendment. Obviously, when we're talking about a minor victim, there's usually a couple of reasons why, that other factors that kind of go into that stuff. But at a hearing, Honorable Stephen P. Anderson ordered Takar to serve a withheld sentence with 3 years of probation and 4 months of conditional jail. And then, of course, there's some requirements for sex offender assessment and other programming. When you see stuff like that, once again, do you like the outcomes of these things? Are you happy with that? Without knowing the details, there isn't a ton of why that happened, but do you like this? Are you happy with that?
Not crazy about it. No, not. No. I mean, you don't look at 40 years of imprisonment and get 3 years of probation.
That was originally what he could have been facing. You're right. It was 40 years in prison. Now, that was for the original charge, and it got amended down to a third degree.
Right. So, and there might be some reasons behind it, which
certainly
maybe with the victim or with, the case itself. So I don't know. But no, I never want those sexual assault cases of a child to get probation.
All right. I want to go somewhere with that. I have a question for you. But first, Sharon had said, bad fire in Milltown last night. Community center burned, struck by lightning. What?
Yeah.
Milltown, that's Polk County, right?
That is Polk County.
The community center burnt down? Well, it was struck by bad fire. Yeah, I haven't. I was getting ready for the show this morning, so I guess I haven't even noticed. That's crazy. Shani did a follow-up. Example is $173 fine for a citation for 1 to 10 in the county. The costs are $143. Those courts costs have a variety of buckets, including jail surcharge, penalty surcharge, CCAP support, etc. Yeah, got it. I'm not actually thinking that you're skimming off the top or something, or taking a whole bunch. It's just really interesting. Oh my goodness.
Those court clerks, they get all the money.
No kidding. They got a good life. I'm just saying. No stress at all.
Right.
I mean, every time I go in there, they're just eating donuts and just
people just throw money at them all day long.
Yep.
All these happy people paying their fines.
Yeah. Yeah. That's another job I don't know why anybody would want.
Yeah.
So let me ask you something. I want to ask you about the relationship between the district attorney, because it's kind of stemming from this sentencing for Barron County. And you and I like to talk about, or we often talk about, whether we like to or not, your thoughts and feelings on after somebody was sentenced. How do your thoughts? Good, bad, did you like to see more, etc. Let's say I'm a deputy in Barron County. I quit media, which, hey, that'd be great. Be a cop, which that'd be a bad idea. But let's just say I am. I take all my classes, and I want to work in Barron County because I respect Sheriff Fitzgerald. So I'm a deputy down there. I pull someone over, and they have, drug paraphernalia, some THC, and some meth. Personal use stuff, not drug dealers, but it's okay. I have to do my job, like my mini investigation, because even though you're not an investigator, you still have to do like your own little 20-minute investigation, right? You do all the stuff, another cop comes, you got to arrest people, you got evidence, you have to go back, you have to write all these reports. Then it gets sent, I'm assuming, to like a sergeant or somebody has to approve all this before it goes to the district attorney's office. It does all of this. And because I love my job, and I take my job seriously, I follow this story to the end, that case to the end, because it's my arrest.
Right.
Then I see the district attorney, and I'm not speaking of, well, in this case, it would be the Barron one, but I don't mean actually Brian Wright. This isn't about him at all. Then I see it's a drug diversion program. It's no jail. Take this course, give a urine sample for every month for a year, and if you behave, it's gone. I walk in, I skip the sergeant, I skip the chief deputy, I walk into Sheriff Fitzgerald's office, and I say, Sheriff, help me understand. What do you tell me?
I tell you.
Because I'm sure this is almost like a real life application, right? I'm sure this has happened before.
This has happened, 100%.
Right. So what do you tell me?
I tell you that I will look into it, and then I will have a meeting with the district attorney. I will go through why we got to this resolution, and I will either say I don't like it, but I don't have a say, or I will say makes sense. I'll go explain it to my cop, and then I'll come back to you and say I met. This is A, B, and C, and this is why they did it. Whether you like it or not, that's the way it is. Or just so you know, I pounded my fist on the table and said, "Don't do that again." Whatever. It's no secret. I've had problems with the district attorney's office in the past, and we tried to do some things with it, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes I get my way, and sometimes I don't. That's just life. So no, the district attorney has a job to do. They can't take any outside influence in making their decisions because they try not to. They try to do it, with all of the facts that they have, and we don't always have all of the facts. And so, but yeah, I'm pounding my fist on the table. I've asked that please don't take deals like that in the past. We're trying to solve this problem. So can you help solve this problem? Yes, we can help solve that problem. We'll do a joint press release. We'll say we're going to make harsher sentences, or we're going to request that from the judge. Now, you don't pound your fist on the judge's table, but I've had some discussions when you build relationships with judges
and have open communication and trust. You bet.
And you don't talk specifics. You talk in generality because judges can't talk about specific cases.
Right.
But so you talk in more general terms when in that say, hey, we have a meth problem. Just so you know, we're arresting a lot of people, and they don't seem to be getting punishment that the outside world thinks is appropriate. And we think if there was stronger punishment, we maybe would stop the flow of drugs in this area or whatever. So you have to have those conversations. They're not easy conversations to have with anybody at any time, but that's just the way it is. But you definitely have conversations, and you got to have relationships to have conversations.
For some reason, I didn't think that's the answer that you were going to give, but now that you gave it, I was stupid to think it would have been anything other than what you gave. I honestly was thinking that you would say, explain, especially your new cop, not everything goes to, and there's a process. It would be more of a kind of a calming me down thing. Because then I was going to ask, okay, now I've arrested 10 people that month for the same thing, and I've watched 10 of them all get the same slap on the wrist and they're back out, and I got kids, and I want drugs off the streets, and I'm taking drugs off the streets, and yet they're going right back out on the street. Right. Then what do you say? But it's interesting. You already answered the question for the first one, and I don't know why I thought that you would have waited to okay, after 10, maybe I do need to actually sit down with this.
We try to get an answer to every question. I tried to do that with everybody that calls on the phone, even if it's, in your mind very complex, in my mind very simple, because I deal with it every day. And a lot of times we got to train both our dispatchers. And you got to remember, when someone calls 911, they think that they're the only person that's ever called 911 that day, and they think their problem is the biggest problem ever. So you can't just say, well, you're the 10th caller today that's brought up this problem, and yours is only as bad as the previous 9. I get it. But so you have to make people feel that their problem is important and you're addressing it. And that's a tough job to do. It takes time and effort. And sometimes it doesn't matter the answer we give them. They're not going to like any answer we give them, except they want the person to go to prison for the rest of their life. Well, that doesn't happen in the real world. You don't even go to prison for murder for the rest of your life anymore. So
I know it's weird.
Not that I think that's right, but I'm just saying that's the reality of the world right now. And maybe we'll get back to doing something different, but unless it's real heinous crime, you're not going. There's ways to, reduce your sentence.
I think let me ask you, do you think that there is just inherently in the relationship between a district attorney's office and law enforcement, it's almost like there's going to be friction? Almost by design. Not design like that's how they meant it to be, but there's just going to be. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. Do you think that it's just because of the roles that you guys serve? We're doing all the work, we're doing this, and then I see this. And the district attorney's office may look at, I don't know what it is for law enforcement, that, man, I would have taken this case further if, you would have done better in your report, if you would have done this better or this. So there's always friction there, but I think that's probably healthy. Do you agree, or do you think there's variables, there's a degree where it's no longer a healthy friction?
No. Well, at times it can be a non-healthy friction. But I also ask that question all the time. Even when we don't have a complaint, we try to meet with the DAs. Hey, are you happy with our reports? Could we be doing better? Maybe it's something in your report as the cop that says, you never tell me where the person had the drugs and how much the drugs weigh. Maybe you never weigh the drugs. I'm just saying.
Sure, right.
And now maybe even when you start weighing the drugs and he's like, oh, I didn't know it was a half a pound. That's a totally different story. I mean, using that as, again, an example, we weigh our drugs, but maybe you're not putting that in your report. You're weighing it and putting it on the evidence, but not in the report, or something simple as that. And we can fix that and say, well, I didn't know it was that much, and we'll do it. We can change the charge. So, I think those are healthy things to do. We don't write perfect reports. We don't do perfect interviews. We try our hardest to do it. But there's some people aren't happy, and that's just the way it's going to be.
Well,
I can't make everyone happy. I've tried. I've been down that road. I've lost that battle with myself. So, and I've gone over that hill and said, "You're not happy. I guess there's nothing I can do about it."
How many district attorneys have you had as a sheriff, or have been the district attorney while you've been sheriff?
2.
That was it? Who was before Brian Ridge?
Angie Bronick.
Is she where is she, Chippewa now, or where is she now?
Eau Claire, right?
Eau Claire. Maybe that's Eau Claire. Okay, I thought it was south. Obviously, different people, different personalities. My wife, Jerusha, she works at the district attorney's office. I think she's worked for 4 district attorneys. Mike Bittney, or Angie Witten before she was a judge, Tom Frost, and now Aaron Marco. And, different personalities and different ways of doing things. How much of an adjustment was it from one DA to the other? I'm not saying good or bad, just how much of an adjustment was it? Or in your experience, they're all trying to do the exact same thing. It's just communication is the key.
It's communication is the key. I mean, it is, and you lack it sometimes, and sometimes you're just frustrated, and that's friction happens, but you got to remember you're both people at the end of the day, and that happens. And sometimes, we went to the media and we're frustrated with law enforcement or with, the courts, and sometimes you're frustrated with the judge. But you know what? I learned this week. I mean, I didn't learn it this week, but every one of us is replaceable. If we don't think we're replaceable, and we all think no one can do the job as well as we can, you better look in the mirror, because as soon as I say I'm not going to be the sheriff anymore in Barron County, there'll be 10 people in line that say they can do a way better job than me. So every one of us is replaceable. Nobody's perfect, and that's what we need to keep remembering. So, we question things, and it's okay to be questioned, and it's okay to do do different things. So just keep that in mind. Everybody has a job to do, and sometimes they don't line up perfectly. And sometimes we're like, the district attorney will send you, excuse me, a note that says, you got to do this report better. Well, I think it's a perfect report. Well, I don't. I'm the district attorney, so guess what? I'm either not charged or you're writing a better report. Right.
Yeah.
And so, and no one's perfect. We all got to do it together, but we're all people at the end of the day, and we got to work through some things. But people aren't going to be happy, and if you don't think you're replaceable, you're dreaming.
Yeah, so, and I've always someone once told me a long time ago that when it comes to your job security and what you're kind of talking about, and I keep this whole place together. Yeah, your job security and your job is really kind of just based on how easy is it for us to replace you. If it's easy, you better do everything right, because then if you have a job that is not easy to replace, you have a little more job security. But most jobs, like you said, are easily replaceable. And doesn't mean they'll do a better or worse job. They'll just have their different ways of doing it and different versions of doing it. And some things will be better and some things maybe not as much. Yeah, that relationship is interesting, because I guess where I was ultimately, I think, trying to go with that scenario of talking to a law enforcement officer, talking to you, saying, I'm frustrated with what's happening in the district attorney's office. Again, I'm not talking about Barron County. I just mean in generalities here. I don't think we'd ever want to see is someone getting so frustrated, not that they would leave the profession of law enforcement, but they would stop arresting people, because they're already predetermining how it's going to end, so what's the point? And that's what we would not want to have, of course. Certainly 100%. You would not want to have from your deputies. It's no, you do your job. I'll work on the politics part, but you have to keep doing that. Is that a message that sometimes you have to say?
that is a check mark. So we need to make sure we keep checking. That's something my administration team and I talk about all the time. That's a checkbox. We need to make sure we're keep checking. So that's 100% right. So do I think I do a good job? 100%. I believe in everything I do. And whether you like it or not, or somebody out there doesn't like it or not,
Definitely.
I think I'm doing a pretty good job for the citizens of Barron County. I enjoy my job. I'm going to keep doing my job. I'm going to be here for a while yet.
Whether you like it or not.
Yeah, challenge me. I guess that's fine. I'm not, but again, I'm not perfect. I'll never be perfect at my job. I'm going to make mistakes. People are going to make mistakes. We'll get through it together. And that's how it works. So
Awesome. All right, what do you have coming up this week? Oh, real quick. So how did the rutabaga, however we pronounce it, how did that go?
It was great. And a really good parade. Awesome parade. Great turnout. No crime. I mean, no OWIs. It was fabulous. Chief Wolf did a great job with her team. We helped. It was awesome. Great. Not much for the week. Got nothing on the weekend. So
weird.
Yeah, got nothing. It's Labor Day. No.
All right.
Hockey,
Any reminders for Labor Day for people? Is there more enforcement out? I can't remember. Obviously, there's a lot more traffic.
Right. We'll be doing more as long as the call volume doesn't dictate it. It dictates where we're doing. But we'll be doing more traffic enforcement. Obviously, sure. Friday, Monday, heavy traffic days. Expect the backup in Spooner. Expect the backup on in the construction zone on 53. We're telling you right now, it's gonna happen. If you're, but people will leave early on Sunday or on Monday because kids got to go to school on Tuesday. School zones. That's what we're going to hit for the month of September. But yeah, just have a great, safe, and happy Labor Day.
Is Labor Day one of those days that the courthouse is closed down? I'm just wondering if my wife has to work on Monday or not.
No, your wife isn't home on Monday. Or she is home on Monday.
She is home on Monday. Okay. Yeah. And the sheriff's office closes down. Dispatch closes down. Take the day off. It's Labor Day.
Dispatchers work from home. No, they don't.
Work from home. That would be great. I'll take that job. I'll work part-time.
Hang on. I just got to pause. Price is Right. Hang on 1 second.
Oh, my goodness. Fitzy, thanks so much.
You bet.
Hey, by the way, it's our next week's show is going to be our 200th show, our 200th episode.
Next week.
Today's 199, yeah. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald. What? Wait, you're going to be on, aren't you?
No, I'm going to be.
I don't know if I can make it, he says. I want to throw this in real quick. Joseph just put this up. No one will work harder or more as a lead by example, leader of the sheriff's department, and feel bad for the next person you are working for. Sheriff. Honestly, I said the same thing about Dad when he left. I'm like, boy, I feel sorry for the next guy that comes in. Because, oh boy, here we go. Yeah. All right, cool. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben Dryden, and you've been watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors. With 20 years of experience as locally owned and operated business, provides quality work both on the inside and on the outside of your home or business. Shanny. Give them a call today and see what they can do for you. 715-520-2271. We'll see you right back here next week for another exciting episode of Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy. So until then, thank you for watching, and as always, have a blessed day.